You're going to get drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
They will come back a positive.
Positive for what?
Methamphetamine.
And next time, if you have a case before any judge, don't use before coming to court. You understand? All right, we're here for sentencing today. According to the plea bargain agreement, she pled no contest to count 2 of the indictment. She applied for deferred adjudication. The state is proceeding only on count 2 according to the plea bargain agreement. Punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison, and the state is silent on the defendant's application.
We're back in old Judge Boyd's court in Bexar County, Texas, and this little Boricua is facing up to 6 years in the prison for methamphetamine possession.
The court requested that the defendant's criminal history be provided to the court, and any objections to the court reviewing that?
No, Judge, of course not.
The state is silent. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, of course, Ms. Torres is hoping you'll grant her application for deferred.
Deferred adjudication is a form of probation where she would avoid jail time if the judge grants it.
Cleaning houses. She has several customers that rely on her. She has a few kids. She's just asking for the court to maybe direct her to some outpatient treatment because she believes she needs some help.
We know old Judge Boyd does not like people that are working in other people's homes when they're on any type of probation.
And other than that, again, she's just hoping you'll grant her application.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You're going to get drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
They will come back a positive.
Positive for what?
Methamphetamine.
All right. So how often are you using meth?
I only do it when I'm under stress. I did it because I could get denied for adjudication, so
I'm sorry, what?
I could get denied the application. I just do it when I'm under stress.
Of course, we all turn to either drugs or alcohol whenever we're feeling stressed. And she's being honest with the court that she was stressed out whether she was going to receive this deferred adjudication. And she was also being honest that the drug test will come back positive.
I know I have a problem, and I don't do it like around my children. I don't do it, every day. It's just, when I'm under stress and I was, really scared, and really under stress. So I don't do it when I go to work. I don't do it, every day, like I said.
All right. So how many children do you have?
I have 3.
What are their ages?
11, 8, and 5.
And where are they now?
2 of them are with their dad and 1 is with my grandma.
With your grandmother. So their great grandmother?
Yes.
Do you help take care of your children?
Yes.
How often?
I see them every other weekend. I don't pay child support, but I pay them, my exes, and I have my daughter. My daughter is with me.
Again, a message to all the mothers out there. If you bring a child into this world and the husband is still alive, learn how to serve him. You give your kids such a better opportunity if you stay together. Learn to serve your husband, and these issues probably won't arise.
No, you just said your daughter is with the great grandmother.
I live with my grandmother.
All right. So 1, I don't think it's appropriate for you to be cleaning houses.
We saw that coming.
Because of the nature of this offense. And 2, I don't think it's appropriate for you right now to be taking care of your children.
That's why I'm asking for help, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what?
That's why I was asking for help, Your Honor. That's why.
All right, your help is not going to be outpatient treatment if I grant this application for deferred adjudication. So you're going into custody today.
Okay.
All right. So it's just a matter of what I'm going to do with you.
And just like that, the court officer slaps the cuffs on her.
What I'm going to do with you. I will tell you the court's issue, and if you want to address this, I know the state is proceeding on count 2 of possession, but she had a lot of drugs with her. So I don't understand, if you're working homes, then why do you have a scale with you? Because that's, according to this, you had drugs, you had a scale in your purse, and there were baggies totaling 32.0.
Just because she's traveling with her own scale, it doesn't mean that it relates to drug use. I know that my lesbian grandmother used to be in this thing called Weight Watchers. They always had these little scales. They would weigh all their food. We can't make that judgment yet. Let's hear some more facts.
Grams.
I was a heavy user back then, and it was.
Oh, you're not. I tell you what, I don't think, and if I'm wrong, correct me. I don't think you were using 32 grams of meth.
It was only 28.
No.
I've never done an illegal drug in my life, so I'm not sure if the grams means anything. Does 32 mean anything compared to 28? I don't even know if 28 grams of meth is a lot.
You have meth here for 4.964 grams, and you also have meth for 27.459 grams. And what you pled to in count 2 was a possession 4 to 200 grams. So this is not a possession 1 to 4.
the criminal law wants to punish the dealers who have more drugs on them compared to people that have just a small amount for their own personal use.
Talking about 27 grams. And according to the stipulations, that what was found in your bag, it says, I searched her bag and inside a Paris Hilton makeup bag box were baggies, a scale, and crystal-like substance inside a cut vacuum
That Paris Hilton makeup box is hot.
sealed bag. That's from your Paris Hilton makeup bag.
Box.
So what I had, the meth was it was double bagged in a sandwich bag. So yes, ma'am, I know it was 20, but it's because that was my personal. I didn't have any other.
What does double bagging with regard to drugs have to do with whether she was intending to sell it? I'm not sure.
They tried to only give me which was 14 grams. So I had to.
No, what I'm telling you is they said the baggie found in Robert's pocket tested positive for meth and had a field weight of 6.12 grams.
That wasn't mine.
No. I'm not saying that was yours. So the 6.12 grams that were found in his pocket, they're saying that was his. It was in his pocket. But the baggie, which was found in Missy's purse, tested positive for meth and had a field weight of 32.09 grams. Now, mind you, what they do in the field.
So she has 32 grams as dope. Robert has 6. Perhaps she's just an overachiever. I'm not sure if that even matters with regard to this type of drug.
I already know that testing drugs in the field are not legal for court. So I'm not considering.
Can someone comment down below, is 32 grams a lot of meth?
Weight and what they said in the field. I'm considering what has been given to me for laboratory reports. So this was the professionals testing it, not a presumptive. And it says 27.459 grams was the net weight of the meth that you had in your Paris Hilton bag.
Say that I used to use a whole ounce within 2 to 3 days. So I was a heavy user. And like I said, they tried to give me half of that the last time. And right now it's going for $250. So if I'm paying $250, I wanted the whole thing. I wanted to make sure. I'm just being honest, and I'm sorry. Excuse me for being.
No, I want you to be honest.
Is that how much meth is? $250 an ounce. And of course, now she's switching away from the metric system using ounces as opposed to grams. I don't know if either is a lot.
I want you to be transparent.
I'm sorry for being transparent, but it's something that I feel like I worked for my money, and I didn't want just to get gypped again. And I can promise you I didn't sell anything. It was because I've been gypped many times.
It's a fair point. She could be carrying around her own personal scale to make sure that she doesn't get gypped, whatever that means. But presumably, she doesn't want to be shortchanged by the dealer.
So I did get it. Now it was double bagged because I don't know, that's the way they gave it to me. I can't.
People would say that my wife was a double bagger. I don't even know what that means.
My mistake, and
Comment down below if you do.
I'm taking full responsibility. But I wasn't selling drugs. I wouldn't. I have a job, and back then I was, a heavy user where I would just do it before work, after work, and I didn't have my children in my life. Now I do have my children back in my life, and I'm trying to be a good mom. So I thank you for, giving me an inpatient program.
Not so fast, little Boricua. The judge has not granted any type of inpatient treatment. And by this reaction I'm seeing from old Judge Boyd, it's probably not going to happen.
Well, no. I'm not saying I'm going to give you inpatient.
No,
what I'm saying is that you're not walking out of this courtroom today. Either you're going to be going to prison or either you're going to be going to inpatient treatment.
And that's a scary proposition because she's facing up to 6 years in the prison with a drug addiction. And you should have empathy for the addicts because you can never, ever determine how you would react if you were raised in her situation.
So it's very important that you be 100% honest with me because the amount of drugs you had and the way they were packaged, that's concerning for the court.
That's the only real question Judge Boyd needs to decide. Was this little Boricua actually selling drugs? Or was she such an overachiever, she was using that much of methamphetamine?
Saying that you just bought a bunch of meth and you were saving it up for use?
So I would use within 2 to 3 days. That was all my personal. Like I said, they tried.
Again, I'm serious. Comment down below. Is that a lot of methamphetamine for one person to use? Or do you think she was actually doing it to sell?
To sell me half of that one time. And I went back to the same person, but I said, I'm going to wait myself to make sure I'm getting the right amount because I'm an addict. I'm sorry, I am.
So you travel with your own scale
Well, at the time I did, because like I said, I've been gypped.
And also comment down below what jip means. I am not sensing many indicators of deception from her, and I can understand that an addict would travel around with their own scale. Again, my lesbian grandma would bring the little scale everywhere we went. If we went to the diner, she would weigh the food there. So she could be telling the truth.
When you're an addict, that's all you think of, just how to get, make sure you're getting what you need. And honestly, I can see where I made my mistakes. I'm being honest with you. It was
When someone says they're being honest with you, it is an indicator of deception, and Judge Boyd knows that.
my skeleton measure, so my personal, that's it. Robert will tell you that was my personal as well. Like, I mean, I don't want to call him or anything. You can if you want to.
Old Judge Boyd doesn't want to hear from that dope Robert. She's seasoned enough to know whether or not this person's likely telling the
But he
truth.
would tell you that's why I used to pick
Oh, no, I'm not going to be calling Robert because
I saw that coming.
Robert probably has a case of his own.
Right. But I'm saying Robert can tell you too. Within 3 days, maybe 2 to 3 days, really, it would have been gone, and I would have been back doing it again. Now I don't. It was kind of like a stress thing.
Where did you get your drugs to use today before you came to court?
Very good question by old Judge Boyd. We can understand that she is stressed. She's facing 6 years in prison, and she could turn to meth as a way to cope. What the judge wants to hear is 100% strict honesty. Will she give up her current drug dealer?
Just an old friend.
Indicators of deception, obviously, like looking up to the right or left, meaning that the brain is thinking. These are all indicators of deception. They don't mean that she's lying, but indicators of deception.
I hadn't talked to him since, and it was on Saturday when I knew it was, coming, and I guess I felt,
And she avoided the question. Obviously, judge asked who, not how, why, or what. Who? She never gave a name.
I think the fact that she would actually go out and do the same drugs that she's about to get sentenced.
And this old attorney here, he's not within the screen. You can't even see him talking. This guy back here, he's listening intently. I don't know if he's in love with this little Boricua. I don't know if he's just waiting for his next case. But if you're an attorney appearing in Judge Boyd's court, you better look good because you're going to be on camera, and make sure you're within the camera view.
For in a couple of days, I think really speaks to the fact that she has a serious addiction problem that I think only rehab can treat.
This is what the court is going to do.
And here comes the decision. It's a tough one. She's facing 6 years in the prison or potentially having some form of inpatient treatment, which is obviously better than being in prison. But sometimes addicts need to hit their rock bottom. Sometimes they need to be in some form of prison in order to get past their addiction.
I see that she hasn't been to prison before. I'm going to find her guilty, sentence her to 6 years in the prison, the therapeutic community.
There's the old gavel. Judge Boyd denies her request for probation and sentences her to 6 years in the prison.
Give her credit for any time served, and I'll retain jurisdiction.
Judge Boyd retaining jurisdiction is a little bit of hope for our Boricua here, because that means that she can determine any form of appeal or subsequent request for probation. The defendant wouldn't have to go to a different court. That's important because Judge Boyd knows these facts.
And you can explain to her what that means. All right, we can go off the record. I'll tell her. So here's the thing. When I say that I'm going to retain jurisdiction, what that means is they're going to take you to prison. If you're following the rules at the prison, if you're working on yourself, because they have programs at the prison, your attorney can file a motion. It's called shock probation. Back when I was growing up, they would have scared straight programs. So shock probation is sort of a scared straight program. Hopefully, when you go to prison, you will clear your mind. The drug use.
Judge Boyd's about my age, 38, 39 years old, based upon her looks. And we did have this program called Scared Straight, where they would bring these hoodlums into the jail and try and scare them. I don't think they do that anymore.
Or the addiction that you have, the craving that you have will be lifted. And if you are doing what you're supposed to do at the prison, if there are no bad reports at the prison, when your attorney comes back for a request for shock probation, I will strongly consider it. While you're at the prison, you have 180 days. That's when he needs to bring it back before me before that time period. You're going to do 6 months. And if you are doing well, if there are no write-ups against you.
I thought she said 180 days, but the most important thing is she may have to hit rock bottom. And this is tough love from Judge Boyd. It may seem cruel if she's going to prison just for doing her own personal stash of drugs and not selling it, but in the long run, she will come back and thank Judge Boyd if she follows through with exactly what old Judge Boyd is saying.
Then the court will strongly consider giving you probation. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
These are going to be choices that you make. It's going to be completely up to you whether or not I strongly consider giving you probation. Your attorney will explain it to you further, but any programs that they have at the prison, like the therapeutic community, to address your issue, you need to take it. I know they have parenting classes at the jail. I don't know how long the transfer will be,
She doesn't need those.
but you need to take advantage of that. When you see people come before me and they've gone to anger management class, they've done parenting classes, they've availed themselves of everything at the jail and everything at the prison, that is what you need to do. You need to immediately sign up for it. If for some reason there's overcrowding and they don't give it to you, it would be better for you to have signed up for it than to just throw up your hands and say, I'm not trying. Do you understand?
Yes.
And next time, if you have a case before any judge, don't use before coming to court. You understand? But I do appreciate your honesty, but you're going to have to get your life in order. Otherwise, children is going to be without their mom. You understand? All right. Good luck to you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I can empathize with the defendant. It's a tough decision. However, she doesn't realize that Judge Boyd retaining jurisdiction is giving her a huge out. She could do 180 days and potentially get out. Sometimes we all need that tough love in life, and Judge Boyd is giving it right here. And for those in our community here following this channel, please let me know. Is that a lot of drugs? Could she potentially have been selling it? I don't know. I'll have the team track this little bodega and we'll follow up the next time she's in court.